Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy, K. Abdul Maid of the Civic Engagement Podcast, bringing you day 3 of the Democratic National Convention. Woo! It's been some informative days that's been happening for the last 3 days. We've heard from President Joe Biden on the first day. We had from President Barack Obama on the second day. Tonight, the third night, we're going to hear from President Bill Clinton. So Bill Clinton is going to be the keynote speaker for tonight, and the theme is going to be around a fight for our freedom. The theme is fight for our freedom. Like, why do we need to fight for our freedom? We need to fight for our freedom basically because it is not guaranteed. It is not guaranteed, and we need to fight for it. And Bill Clinton is going to lay down the case of why we need to fight for our freedom, why we need to fight for our democracy. So it's going to be an interesting night. It's also going to be the keynote. The vice president is also going to accept his nomination, and he's going to give a speech. Tim Walsh is going to accept, and he's going to give a speech. So I want to break it down. It's like what exactly has been happening. We've seen all the people in the convention. Over 50,000 people. We have over 5,000 delegates from 50 states all across this country. The question is, who are those delegates? Those delegates are the ones that represent you. You did not remember, you probably didn't recall, way back, there was an election that was had, and you vote for those local delegates. And now those delegates are at the convention representing you. So it's a representative type of democracy. So you have people from all over the country representing their different constituency. So that's what it is. So that's why you see all those people, and that's where they're laying out the platform for the Democratic agenda for the next 4 years. So that's what you're seeing playing out. So tonight, former President Bill Clinton is going to give his keynote speak. We know Bill Clinton from Arkansas. They called him the comeback kid. The nickname was because when he was running, he was down in the primaries and they had counted him out. And the polls was wrong. And he came back and he won his election. And, and some people also refer to him as the first black president because he was really cool. He played the saxophone. He wore dark shades, hanging out with Al Gore. So, like, what all of this mean for Kamala Harris? These are people that have done the job. They know what it takes, the temperament, the character, and they are appointing, speaking on behalf of Kamala Harris. So that speaks volume. Could you imagine you apply for a job and you are one of the candidates, and all the previous people that have hold on to that job before you recommending you, They're like, yes, you're the best candidate. Yes, you're the best candidate. Yeah, you're the best candidate. That speaks volume. And then just hold up for a minute. And like, why did not happen with the Republicans? I posted earlier, it's like, where is the former vice president for Donald Trump? Mike Pence, where is he? How come he's not speaking up for Donald Trump? Where is the former Republican president, George Bush? How come he's not speaking for Donald Trump? You want to know the answer? Because they know the man cannot do the job. And it's over his head. He cannot do the job. The job is over his head. That's the simple answer. And in their good conscience, they could not recommend him for the job. And we all know what happened within Donald Trump and Mike Pence. They fell out. They fell out because Trump wanted Mike Pence to interfere with the official proceeding with the certification of the electoral vote. That was his last stance, January 6th. That was the fallout. He wanted Mike Pence to intervene and stop the certification of the electoral votes. And Mike Pence, in his good conscience, that, sir, I can't do that. That is not what we do. That is not within my bounds of duties. That is against the Constitution. So I cannot do that in my good conscience. And once Mike Pence was able to muster the courage and continue with the certification, they fell out. They fell out. So could you imagine having a boss? Just step back. Could you imagine having a boss that asking you to do illegal activities at the job? A boss that asking you to do illegal activity at the job. And when you fail or when you refuse, the boss fires you. The boss fires you. How would you feel? That's what Donald Trump did to Mike Pence. And every day, I'm understanding. So bring it down. I like to break things down. So Donald Trump is that boss that asks his employee to do illegal activities or illegal tasks. And once that employee refuses, he fires that employee. Could you imagine that? And why would you want to work for somebody like that? Why would you? So in our issue, why would we want a president again like Donald Trump? He has no respect for the law. He has no respect for people that disagrees with him. And he's a selfish human being. He's a selfish human being. Everything that Donald Trump does is for Donald Trump. That's it. Go back. Trump is been on. Everything that Donald Trump does is for Donald Trump. So, being a president is more than a title. You're a leader of the free world. It's not a transactional position. It is not a transactional position. You are looked up as a global leader because we have a democratic ideals that other countries around the world look up to, and they ask for advice, they seek our opinion, they ask for assistance because they really wanted guidance to make their people's lives better. So could you imagine we have a president that only speaks to countries that he have transactional relationship with? We saw that. Like, that's chaotic. Oh, I only speak to you if I have a business relationship with you. That's not what the office of the presidency is about. It's not a transactional office. It's not an office where you go to make money. It's an office where you go, you uphold the values of democracy, and you act as a beacon for hope for all countries around the world. That's what the office of the President of the United States is about. And that's what you are seeing being displayed by Joe Biden, by Barack Obama, and that's what you will see displayed tonight by Bill Clinton. So that's where it is. So that's why they're speaking on behalf of Kamala Harris, that said that she is the best person for the job at this time. And so America, we got a clear choice. We got a very clear choice, and we got to fight for our freedom. We got to fight for our freedom. And that's the theme of Bill Clinton's speech tonight. And you're going to hear from other speakers, And so that's what it is. And so they're laying out the foundation, they're laying out the groundwork so that when Kamala step out on that podium on Thursday night, you will see the blueprint. There will be an agenda, there will be a platform that she's going to advocate for when she wins in November. So we got to do something. This is on all of us. And I know some people have a personal preference. I know some people have a personal disagreement. And I know some people have a personal opinion, but this is bigger than any individual disagreement. This is bigger than any individual opinions. This is for the greater good. The democratic principle is for the greater good. Ties that lift all boats. So Kamala is the best person, and she's going to be for the middle class and the working class. She's going to do the job with integrity, and she's always going to be for the people. So this is your boy Kib Dumaid of the Civic Engagement Podcast. I just want to kind of break it down so that we have an understanding of what actually is transpiring. So somebody applied for a job, and the three previous people that have held into the job are recommending the candidate that she's the best person, she's the best person, she's the best person. That's what you're seeing. They recommending Kamala Harris. So there is no issue to fight. And of course, there's always going to be issues, but that's what the Democratic Party is about, bringing everybody together and flushing out ideas. Two of my favorite people, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. She has to fight for ideas, and I see her fight every day in Congress. And my uncle, Bernie Sanders, still fighting for ideas, making sure he has an agenda item at the Democratic platform. That's what you do. You fight for ideas. You bring different people together. You don't ostracize people because you disagree with them. You don't fire people because you disagree with them. You don't insult people because you disagree with them. And you definitely don't go after people because you disagree with them. But those are all the traits of Donald Trump. Like President Obama said last night, we have seen this movie played out before, and the sequel is always worse. Why would you want to be part of a movie, a sequel, that you already know the outcome? Dr. Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believable. First time. So we have a clear shot inside how to get to 270 in November. We got a rally around Vice President Kamala Harris and a Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz. And we all got to do our part. And that's what the civic engagement has always been about. Encouraging people, breaking down complicated ideas, complicated political theory, so that everyday people could understand, so they could get involved. So once again, like I always say, this kid, your boy K. Abdul of the civic engagement. Don't let your heart be troubled.